want to discuss drags and carries. We've got to be able to move our casualty. There's certain considerations that we have to think about before we just run out there and grab somebody. Number one is the tactical environment that we're in. We have to simply consider the terrain, potential cover, and most importantly, where we're going to move the casualty to. These are things that you have to plan before you ever run out to grab a casualty. The other thing you have to consider are the assets available. Sometimes the only person available to move a casualty is you. That's a very difficult situation. Certainly, the more people that you have to help move a casualty, the easier it is. 2 people is certainly better, and we're going to demonstrate that. 3 people allows a situation where 2 can address the casualty and the 3rd person can deal with any mission essential equipment that we don't want to leave behind. This means weapons, this means commo, this means crypto, this means anything that we don't want to fall into somebody else's hands. We have to plan that we are not ever coming back to this spot. So anything that is important that needs to leave with the casualty, we need to take it with us now. Let's spend another minute and talk about securing the casualty's weapon. We want our weapons to be safe, and we absolutely want to be sure that the casualty's weapon is safe, and that's one of the first things we have to evaluate when we secure the casualty's weapon. I don't recommend condition 4ing the weapon at that time. I do recommend that the mechanical safety is ensured to be on. Let's look at the worst case scenario to the best case scenario. Let's start with one rescuer trying to retrieve 1 casualty. Using my brother John Chapman as a demonstrator, we're going to talk about the least useful carry, the one-man carry that we call the Hawes carry. Essentially, that's replaced what a lot of us would have known as the fireman's carry. It's a carry that is only useful in a situation where the casualty can assume a standing posture. Pretty much assumes that he's got some kind of lower extremity injury, maybe an orthopedic injury, where he's probably got one good leg that you can assist him to stand, and then you can address the carry. You're not going to be able to move very far with this carry. It's very difficult to do if you are taller than the person you're trying to carry. It's pretty easy to set up, especially for anybody who's done judo. It's almost like any shoulder throw you would set up for. You want to raise his arm. You have to get your back to his chest. You have to begin by bending your knees and getting your shoulder lower than his armpit. Ask the casualty to reach around and grab his own arm. From here, you can give him a command. Okay, we're gonna go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lean forward, lift with your knees, and take off walking. It's very difficult to do if you are taller than the casualty. It's very difficult to do if the casualty outweighs you by a significant amount. This is the one-man carry known as the Hawes carry. In the more likely scenario, when we think about retrieving casualties, the casualty is not going to be able to stand. We're going to have to retrieve him from the ground. This is where the concept of a drag comes in. Let's talk about the worst case scenario here, where there's only one of you trying to evacuate the casualty. A lot of plate carriers have purpose-specific drag handles, just exactly for that. It gives you a place where you can grasp firmly and the patient will come with you as you pull them. Plate carriers that don't have purpose-specific drag handles still have shoulder straps. The issue with a lot of our lightweight plate carriers is that the shoulder straps are not durable enough to let you extract the casualty by dragging them by the straps. You're still not out of the game at that point. Even without a plate carrier that you can forcefully address to move the casualty, this is how you do it. From behind the person, squat and reach under their arms. Grasp their wrists. Now, when you stand, you will lift them and you'll also maintain their head off the ground as you move them. Whether you're using the drag strap or whether you're using their handles, the same basics apply. Before you get to that point, decide where you're going. Preferably, you're moving the casualty from an open space to cover. Have that planned out before you start moving. The one-man drag is good for very short distances. In the same situation where we have a casualty who's not able to stand, and we're going to have to drag him, that extra person makes all the difference. It's essentially the same drag, but now you've got extra hands to help. Even more so, communication is paramount. There's nothing funnier than when we teach this, and in training, one guy thinks he's going to 9 o'clock, one guy thinks he's going to 3 o'clock, and they do the Laurel and Hardy and kiss right behind the casualty. Have a plan and communicate how you're going to do this and where you're going to go. Chappie, go ahead and lay back. Okay, let's grab him by the straps. Okay, we're going to move 10 meters straight ahead behind that low wall. Let's lift and move on 3. 1, 2, 3. Stand and move. Next carry I'd like to show you is called the SEAL Team 3 or the 3-man carry. 3-man carry, well, there's 3 people, but only 2 of them are rescuers. This is how we set it up. Addressing the casualty from the back. The rescuers are going to go down on their near side knee. With your near side hand, you're going to grab the most secure site you can, his pants belt or his war belt. You're going to instruct the casualty to reach around your neck. You're going to continue to grab him by his wrist. If the casualty can do so, you're going to command him, get on your knees. At this point, it'll be much easier to lift, but you must communicate. Guys, we're going to stand together on 3. 1, 2, 3. From here, we can support most of his weight. If he's got a good leg that he can help us walk with, by all means, he should do so. Let's move forward 10 meters together. 1, 2, 3, go. It is a method where you can move farther and faster, and it's a good one to know. There's ways that we can improve our mechanical advantage when we're moving a casualty. This is another area where hunters have a big leg up on other people. Going in the woods to take a large animal and not having a plan for how you're going to get that animal out of the woods, other than just grab them by the antlers and pull, is a failure. Hunters know that drag straps give you tremendous mechanical advantage, and it is no different when we're talking about moving a casualty. Whether it's something as simple as a piece of rope and it's improvised, or it is an actual prefabricated, purpose-built drag strap like this one made by North American Rescue, it is a superior way to move somebody because it gives you significant mechanical advantage. When you're attaching to the casualty, whether we're going to link to their drag strap, whether it's Team SOP, that everybody has a snap D-link on the back of their plate carrier, or whether we're going to use their shoulder straps, these are all acceptable anchor points. What this does is give you the mechanical advantage so that you're pulling the person with your hips and your core rather than trying to do it with your arms and your upper body. The other advantage is as you are dragging the person, it will naturally keep their head off the ground. Whichever way you are moving a casualty, do not bounce my casualty's head off the ground as you move them. Lean back. Groovy? There's other improvised ways to use drag straps to move people. One excellent way is to use a rig with 22 feet of sewn tubular nylon webbing. Chappie, go ahead and lay on your back. Do let your arms come through. That was good. That was good too. Now you have a hasty rig where you can move the person, or your partner can help you. Let's move to 12 o'clock, 10 meters. Move. Whatever way you choose to move a casualty, I recommend that you consider getting the best mechanical advantage that you can and using some kind of drag strap.